Hello, my name is Abiba. For this training, we are going to be using t-shirt yarn and two size hooks. One is a 6 mm hook and a smaller one. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook here. And this is my board that I'll be using, my accessories, my yarn needle, a pair of scissors, my lining, a zipper, my measuring tape, and my needle and thread. So let's get started. The reason why we are using two different hooks is because sometimes our board has a smaller hole size and sometimes they have a bigger hole size. But this time around, this board I have has a smaller hole size, so my 6 mm hook will be too big for this hole, so that's why I'm using a smaller size hook. So we are going to go in, and this bag we are going to be using single crochet throughout. So I'm just going to single crochet throughout this round board. Single crochet throughout. Don't forget to take along your yarn tail while we single crochet along. Single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That is how we are going to single crochet around till we get here. Do not let your stitches be too tight. Remember, we are using a smaller yarn and we are going to continue the project with our 6 mm hook. We are using this small hook just because we have small holes. In cases where we have big holes, we might need to do 2 single crochet into a hole, but for this particular board we have smaller holes, so that is where we are crocheting single crochet each into the holes. So I'll meet you back here. So we are back here, going into the last hole and single crocheting into the last hole. So we are done using our smaller hook for now. So please, when you want to get a smaller hook, ensure you get this aluminum type, because this rubber type are not strong enough for bag making, because in crochet bag making you do a lot of pulling and pushing, and this one is a rubber hook and it removes every time you are trying to pull. So get this kind of hook for your bags. So coming to the end of this first row, we are going to slip stitch our work so that we can start our second row. So this is how you slip stitch. We are going with our 6 mm hook. You come here, this is the first stitch of this row, so you come under this stitch like this and you pull this yarn over it, then you pull it in. This is it. You pull it in, then you pull this, so you come in under this stitch like this and you pull this our working yarn in, pull this tail out to make it tight, then you come to our last stitch here. Remember, we are not working on the we are not using this upper stitch, we are working on in between this V stitch that was made. So you will come in between this V stitch that was made, see, in between the V that was made, and we are going to pull this yarn that will put inside. We are going to put it on our hook, and we will yarn over it, yarn over and pull through together like that, and we'll chain one. That is the start of our second row. So we'll continue working in between this V, in between this V, this stitch that we made, not on this top stitch like this, but in between this V. So you go in, see, you single crochet, go in, a single crochet. So we are just going to keep single crocheting until we reach here again. So we are on the last stitch here, single crochet, pull through and yarn over, and we are back here. We want to slip stitch again, so the same way we did earlier, come under our first stitch here, pull this over it and pull through tightly. Then you come back here to our last stitch here, we go in between our V like that and come out. We put on our yarn, put it on our hook, and we pull through together like that. Then we single crochet and we continue working again. So this is how our work is looking. It's forming already. So for my bag, I'm going to make 4 rows. We have made 2, so I'm going to make the remaining 2 rows off camera, making 4 rows the same way we have made these 2 rows. And after making our rows, we are going to be slip stitching on this same hole that we used to start our work. So we are going to slip stitch to hide. You can see the holes are visible like this, so we are going to use slip stitch to cover it up, and we are going to go in with this our smaller hook, because this 6mm hook cannot fit in again, but this our smaller hook or a smaller one can fit in again. So to quickly show you how we are going to slip stitch right here after making the 4 rows and cutting off our yarn, we are going to slip stitch like this. We go in with our smaller hook, then this is a new yarn that I just picked, but you can finish your 4 rows before coming back to slip stitch. I don't want the video to be very long, that's why I'm doing this. So you just come in just like we started our bag. So we just come in and pull through like this. Remember I told you to use aluminium hook instead of this rubber hook. So to secure this our tail, we are just going to hide it under our working thread like this and just crochet on it. So going in again to slip stitch, yarn over, we're going to pull through like that, pull through and slip stitch and pull through again, pull through again. This is what is called a slip stitch. So let's go in again. We go in, yarn over, then we pull. You have to be careful because the hole is small already. We pull out, then we pull out, we pull through the yarn again, go in, yarn over, pull out your yarn like that. Start pulling out your yarn, then you pull. We have 2 loops on the hook, then you pull out again, so it's giving us this weave like design. So that is how we are going to slip stitch around after making our 4 rows. This is my project. I have made my 4 rows, 1 2 3 4 4 rows, and at the end of my slip stitching, this is the last one. I'll go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through here. So this is the last. So to slip stitch on the final one, you are going to pull out your yarn like this, pull it out. You cut it first, then you pull it out, leaving just a small tail on it. So we are going to like fasten it up using our yarn needle. So put your yarn into your yarn needle, and to fasten off our tail yarn, we are going to go into our first slip stitch. Just go under it, see, just go under it like this, and sew your ends like this, then go under the last one that we just did, and like that. So pull tight. See, you can't even know where we started and where we ended our slip stitching. So after that, we are just going to go in like this to secure our yarn like that. See, so we are going to sew in our yarn so that our bag can be neat and we can secure our tail yarn. So you just sew it in like that. So like that, and we can cut the excess yarn off. So that's the end of the first one. So we are going to repeat the same thing we did here on the other board, and I'll meet you after doing mine off camera. So this is mine after doing both. This is what it looks like. And for this, my other one, after finishing my bag, I left a long tail end, unlike this that we left a smaller one and sew it in. We are going to leave a long tail end on this one. This is what we are going to use to join both boards together like this to form our bag. So we are going to use this tail to join both bags together. And to join, you can either use our yarn needle to join it together, to just sew it in like this. You find the side you want to put together like that. We can use our yarn needle to just sew it in like that. Like this. like this. Let me continue. We can continue like that, where we sew it together like that, or we can use our 6 mm hook to use a slip stitch to join it together. While joining together, remember that we are going to leave opening for our zip. So you can either use a yarn needle to join it together, or you use a slip stitch through. To join using slip stitch, we are going to go in like this on the first board, and on the second board, then we yarn over with our yarn that we left out. We yarn over, we pull through the first one, then we pull through the second one. So basically we are going to slip stitch from this side to this side, leaving this opening for our zip. So going in first, I'm going in second, slip yarn over, pull through the first one and pull through the second, then pull through again, just like our normal slip stitching. Going in here, going here, yarn over, coming out, and so slip stitch. So which do you prefer, using the yarn needle or slip stitching? When you are doing your bag, you'll be able to see which one you want to work with. Me, I like using my slip stitch because it gives me this finishing look. See this braid look that my slip stitch is giving me. This is why I like using my slip stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch until I achieve the one I want, the opening I want, and come back here. So I am done slip stitching, and this is how open I want my bag to be after putting the zipper. So I started from here and I finished here, side by side. I finished here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn, then pull it out like this and tighten it. Then I'm going to use my yarn needle to go in and secure my yarn, secure work from losing, so that our work will not go ahead and losing itself later on. So you just use your yarn needle to pass the yarn around and secure it like that. So after doing that, you can go back in like this. Just make sure that the final stitch you do will end up inside like this. Then you remove your yarn needle and you can fasten off by tying this yarn like this. Just tie it inside. Just tie the end like that, and you can cut part of the yarn off. So We are done with our bag like this. The next thing to do is to put our lining and our zipper. We are going to attach our zipper to the lining first before attaching it to the bag. This is the zipper I'm using, and it's going to go in like this, like this. To measure for our lining, I'm going to use my measuring tape to get the size of my bag. The first half, we have 12 inches. So since it's a cycle, this other side will also be 12 inches. So we have 12 inches by 12 inches, and this we have 12 inches by 12 inches. So we measured our lining and I have cut it out. After cutting, I used my sewing machine to sew it round, leaving this space for my zipper. This is aligning with the measurement that I used here after slip stitching both together. So this opening here is the same size with this opening here. So I used my sewing machine to sew it round, and I left this opening for my zipper. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can use your needle and thread to and sew it together. So we are going to go forward by putting our zipper. We're going to be using our sewing machine to do that, and put our zipper upwards like this. I'm going to be sewing our zipper like this, because this is how our lining will be inside our bag, like this. So our zipper would be facing up like this. So we'll go ahead and sew our zipper onto our lining also. Before that, I'm going to be using my pin to make sure that my zipper is secured on my lining before moving to my sewing machine. So I'm just going to be using my pin to hold it together so that sewing can be easier for me. This is what it looks like after using my pin to put my zipper there. So we're just going to go ahead and use our sewing machine to sew this round, and after sewing, we are going to come into our bag like this and use our needle and thread to sew our zipper to our bag, just like this. We're going to be using our needle and thread to sew it and cut this excess zipper off. That is what we are going to be doing. And after that, after we have ensured that we have sewn our lining to our bag, so what I normally do for my handle is I measure 35 inches. I use 35 inches for how long I want my handle to be. So you can make yours longer and you can make it shorter, but this is what works for me. This is what I've been using for my bags. So this is 35 inches. So depending on how chunky my yarn is, I like fold it for as much as 12 times, or if my yarn is tiny, I go as much as I want it to be. If I want my handle to be chunky and thick, I just fold as much as I want my handle to be. For this bag, I think I'll be folding like 12 to 13 and to 15 times. So let me fold. It's 2 already. It's 3. I'll just fold off camera. I folded mine 15 times. This is how chunky I want it to be. So the two ends of the beginning and the end of my t-shirt yarn, we are going to join it together, and you can use your needle and thread to just sew together like this, but or use a fabric glue, because this is a t-shirt yarn, so fabric glue will work just well for it. This is my fabric glue. This is the one I'm using. I'm just going to be putting my glue on and ensure it covers it very well. So I'll just lay my other end on it like this and glue it together. So this is how it's looking, see? So once we are done gluing like this, we are done gluing, and our yarn might be a little bit disorganized, so we're just going to arrange our yarn very well, or you can go ahead and just measure it again so you can fold it very well. What I'll just do is I'm going to measure my 35 inches again, and this is it. Then I'm going to come to my handle like this and just keep putting it on my handle, so this is going to be very easy to fold. So we are just going to keep on folding until we finish the yarn. And this is what it looks like after folding everything. Like I said, I did 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. This is how chunky I want my handle to be. So you are just going to come here to straighten it up like this. Then we go on to twist our handle like this. Ensure that it is tight, like you pull it tight and you just continue twisting in one direction. Twist very well in one direction like this. Keep on twisting. We're almost done. Just keep on twisting and you notice that it is like very tight already. See, when you can barely put your fingers in between them. So we are going to remove from here. Be careful. We're going to remove it and come like this. Then we'll straighten this very well. See, and our handle is ready. We are going to put our rings on both sides. See our handle. So we are going to be putting our rings on both sides like this. We are still coming here to do this very well, but let's secure this other end first. So you can twist it very well. Then we can rearrange this. Just make sure your finger is in the middle. just twist. All you need to do is just to twist it well. You twist this other one too very well. And it is ready. And our handle is ready. So this is how chunky I want it to be. Our bag, we are going to be coming with the handle that we made. We are going to make 2 of this handle, and we are just going to look for where we want the handle to be and just attach. You open your ring like this and just go in wherever you want your handle to be, and you put it on your bag. Be careful so that this does not remove when you're putting your handle. So we are going to make 2 of this, and once that is done, that means we are done with our bag. So you can use other accessories to accessorize it. Your chain, your bag charms, you can use that to accessorize it, and we are done making our bag. Make 2 handles. One will be on this side and the other will be on this side. So I can't wait to see what you do with your bags. Kindly share on your social media. Tag Purple by B on Instagram, on Facebook. Tag me so that I can see what you made. Bye bye.